right, so welcome back to the channel. My name's Kevin.
I'm Tarsha.
This is Conversations with the Crawleys. We do conversations about faith, family, relationships, and we do recaps, reviews, and commentary on some of our favorite shows. This one is all about the reunion special of Put a Ring on It Season 4 with Dr. Stacy.
Mm-hmm.
So if this is content that you enjoy, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe, hit the like, request notifications,
and share.
We'll see you in the comments. Consider becoming a member and check out that merch store. And yes, we know we have been missing some episodes.
It was him.
Life.
He didn't want to take. He wasn't serious about this life.
Yeah.
He was like, put a ring on it.
Yeah, I mean, we gave the commentary I think we needed to give on this one. But it's the reunion, so we got to close out this chapter.
Close the chapter.
On Put a Ring on It. So they do have Egypt, who we find out is already friends with Dr. Stacy. They're friends in real life. Mm-hmm. And Dr. Stacy was like, I got a secret I can't tell you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm being on this show, but don't tell nobody.
Mm-hmm.
So they did invite Chance and Dunbar, if y'all remember Chance and Dunbar. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll leave it at that. But they did invite them, and they declined or didn't respond or what have you. So
keep the same energy.
Yep.
You left the show, and obviously they're going to go back over and hash when you left and how you left. Mm-hmm. And so I think that was right for them to decline again.
Yep, or at least Chance to decline, because I think she in control of that whole thing. But anyway, so, you know, they recap just kind of the overall piece of each story. Mm-hmm. And then they break down to the couple. So you got Jasha and Joya. Mm-hmm. And so the question, of course, for them was, hey, she wants more kids. Mm-hmm. And when if you watched it, you know that initially we were thinking that she didn't have any kids. Mm-hmm. Come to find out after a couple episodes that she does have a child. Mm-hmm. But she made a statement. She's like, look, before she met Jasha, before she met Joya, whatever. His name is Josh.
His name is Jasha.
Okay. Some J's. Ooh. So before Joya met Jasha, she didn't want any more kids. Mm-hmm. So basically what she was saying was, now that I found the right person, I want to have more kids. So I get that now, but the way it was kind of being put off was like she was in this mad dash to get kids before her clock ran out. And we were trying to figure out what the big push was because she already has a child. Mm-hmm. And yes, I understand wanting to have a child with your significant other.
But you got to be on the same page, right?
Yep.
If I start dating you and we're talking and you seem like you're at a place, because he already has a kid, mm-hmm. and he's at a place where, look, I think we'll be good just to be able to travel, mm-hmm. see the world, and help co-parent our children, and he seemed good with that, then I get wanting it, but it was like it took over.
Right. It was the overall theme of everything that she needed to do.
Theme. And she kind of addressed that when Dr. Stacy kind of put her on blast. Mm-hmm. Like, what about enjoying the present where you are? Because again, a lot of people don't enjoy the present, right?
Yep.
Because we're on that grind, we're getting our hustle, we're getting that bag. So in the midst of everything, we're not even taking a moment to enjoy the time you're with the person you're with.
Exactly. So of course they brought some of the most notable dates that Jasha and Joya had. So Brittany was there, mm-hmm. Luther, and Jacoby. Mm-hmm. And so Brittany, you know, they asked Brittany, you know, y'all had what? I think she had two dates. Yeah. And she was like, do you feel like you're owed an explanation? Brittany's like, yeah, mm-hmm. we had a good connection. We were vibing, right? So she is like, at least I should have been given an explanation. Mm-hmm. And Joya was like, you get what you got.
Well, and he does decide to explain mm-hmm. that when they had the date at the gym,
yep.
that he felt she was doing too much.
Yep.
And so, but again, he was already in a relationship.
Right.
So it wasn't like anything she was or was not going to do was going to keep her dating him.
No.
So.
No. So I mean the mentality, I think, I don't want to say mentality like I'm being insulting, but the mindset, I think, of people that are going on the dates is you gotta come into it not expecting that you're gonna steal this person away, right? Now you are providing an option, or you are at least helping them to see. Mm-hmm. But if your overall thing is I'm gonna steal this person away, I'm gonna be Mr. Steal Your Girl. Mm-hmm. I don't know that that's a right attitude or a right mm-hmm. mindset to have.
No, I think it just kind of gives you a different I think if the person going in, when they know that the person's in a situationship or whatever, when they go in, it's like, okay, what can I learn from meeting somebody who's in doubt about their relationship? What can I gain from them? Because if that's what the other couple goal is about going in relationship, let me make it the goal.
Right.
And get free food.
Hey.
Why not? I'm assuming they paying for it.
Get a free candle, something.
Something. Like, that's one meal less I had to eat if I was single. So,
but then Jacoby, the attention switches to Jacoby.
Yes.
And Jacoby starts popping off that he doesn't think that Jasha makes his own decisions. And he was like, hold up, bruh. Josh was like, look, you got any kids? No. I've been married before. I'm older than you. I know this game a little better than you. So don't come at me with the energy of I don't make my decisions. And Joya's like, he makes decisions. He's like, no, hold on, pump your brakes. I got this, babe girl. He's like, I got this. And so he's talking to him. And Jacoby, you can tell Jacoby watches a lot of Kevin Samuels. Because he gets into this whole thing of I'm a high value man. And I get what he's saying as far as he has choices.
He
has choices. Choose not to date a person that has children already, cool. But don't make it seem like she's beneath you. Because they seem to be pretty successful, right? So yes, there are those single parents that there's a struggle. There are those that are thriving. Just like there are married couples that are struggling and there are married couples that are thriving. So if you're saying you have a preference,
say you have a preference. Just say that. But you don't have to. And what she was getting at feel like it was more of an insult on single women. And so that's what turned her off. I'm like, you coming at this at the wrong energy.
Right.
And so for him to understand, he just wasn't getting it.
At all.
So he need to go back and take more notes.
He need to see if his YouTube algorithm can bring him over to our channel so he can kind of get some balanced approach to how he handles a relationship.
Because the longer he goes and doesn't become married, his pool is going to get smaller
and smaller,
where he's going to find out that he's running into more women that are single, but they have children.
And it could be that they're single because they're divorced, right?
Or widowed,
right?
It could be a whole lot of reasons why.
So this whole thing of, because he was like, you know the statistics and da-da-da, and everybody was like, pump your brakes, shut your mouth, and just move along. You didn't get her. She didn't want you. Right. She's got a man. And you don't have options right now.
Correct.
So, and then Luther was the other guy there. And Luther was pretty much like, I ain't saying all that. I'm over here chilling. He's like, I enjoyed my time. It was cool. He and Joya did have a good vibe. But he also was like, look, you got somebody.
You got someone. And he was like, for me, it's listening to a woman, understanding what her needs are. And as a man that wants to be a part of her life, how can I provide that?
Exactly.
Because Egypt was like, oh, your DM's about to be popping. Are you single? He's like, oh, yeah, I'm single.
Like, if my DM's popping, yeah, I'm definitely single. Jacoby was like, yeah, I'm single. Egypt was like, I know why. That's not a big surprise. Then moving on to Ricky and Catherine. And if you remember, or if you saw Ricky and Catherine, Ricky was like, hey, we not ready. We gonna start where we gonna end where we started. We're not engaged. We're taking it slow, and we're kind of getting that taken care of.
And I applaud him for that, because Ricky is not the one that really speaks out. Or comes off.
Every time we say the word Ricky, in the back of my mind, in my head is Boys in the Hood. Ricky.
All right, did we get it out?
I got it out right now.
Okay, good.
Ricky.
So for him to tell her, right, and say, look, we need to really work on each other, right? We need to individually seek the counseling, get the healing we need, so that we can be there for each other 100%, right? And I wish they've come to those realizations before she moved, right?
Right.
Because basically she only been there a couple months, and now they're, trying to get themselves together. Because my question is, she didn't treat him like this while they were friends?
Yeah. See, there's lots of questions with this relationship.
Is the dynamics only because now they're sleeping together that now she had issue and all this jealousy come out?
Right.
So that, that in itself is a little confusing because if you were great friends, only thing we're now is, I would think, is a bonus is that now that we're intimate, right? And so we have, which should strengthen the marriage,
right?
Or I would say relationship,
yes,
more than anything. But it's like them sleeping together made her like, oh, I'm tightening my reins because now I got you.
So, because the question also to Catherine was, did she feel cheated? She's like, yes, I did feel cheated. She's like, we started this where we ended. I felt cheated. But then she also says she recognized that she's broken and that she's not ready.
And she didn't realize how she was talking to her.
Yeah. Because she was like, I wouldn't want anybody to talk to my friend that way. But you talking to your man that way.
Right.
Who is your friend.
Right. So that was a little confusing, right?
Yeah.
Because if you're controlling, thinking you're going to get something out of it and you don't, then it's like, yeah, you need to work on yourself. But I feel like sometimes people need to be apart to truly work on themselves. She didn't say she was in any type of counseling, but I hope that's what they mean when they say they work on themselves. Because me just saying I'm not going to say something to you doesn't get to the root issue of why this comes out of me.
Because if I never deal with the root issue, then that thing, anytime you have a weed, right, you can take off the top layer of the weed. But until you get to the full root of that thing, it's going to be there.
Right.
And so if she's just dealing with the symptom of it, she's not dealt with the root of it, that's going to be continually the ability for it to pop up at any point in time.
And she keeps referencing herself in a third person. So she has this bipolar, this personality disorder.
Yep.
And this other person rise up. Well, whoever that is needs to die. Like, kill it. It's just like, oh, I'm going to stop coming up. No, I forgot what the name of it was. But it's like, if you're indicating that there's more than one person and you're saying you can't control your actions because this other personality shows up, you need deliverance.
Yeah.
You need that cast out of you.
Facts.
So
Facts.
I hope, Ricky's saying, let's wait, let's see, that again, they don't get stuck in a rut.
Yeah. So then their significant dates came up. So Marcus, Sheila, and Chelsea. And you remember Chelsea is actually Ricky's ex-wife and mother of his child. But Marcus is like, look, this show ain't over for me. I came to get Catherine.
Look, he came to do another whole scene.
He's like, you didn't get a ring. I got a ring. I want to put a ring on it. Now, here's the thing. So there's a couple of things in there, right? Because one, we were watching the clips and I think I saw it. You may have not seen or forgot about it. But Marcus was very forward with Catherine.
Oh, yeah. They had 4 dates.
They had 4 dates, but he got it, putting his tongue in places and stuff like that, right? So Marcus was doing things, right? But remember, Catherine had an issue with the young lady who basically fed. Now, you want to talk about hypocritical. You were upset with him because she put a portion of food in his mouth. But you, when Marcus is doing what he's doing. And so Ricky's looking at it like, oh, okay. And so that's why Marcus has the boldness, if you will, or has the audacity to do what he's doing, because Catherine didn't shut it down like we've seen other people shut down those dates when they got a little too aggressive. Just for example, when we talked about with Jasha was like, look, we're not going to continue this date because you went a little out of pocket. Catherine was like, I'm going to feed that energy.
And she still didn't make any boundaries there. So that's why the other young lady was piping up, because she was like, you still ain't calling any boundaries. Now look at this. She was supposed to have closure, right, on that 4th day. Did we see any video of any closure?
Nope.
Because she even said herself, oh, this is supposed to be closure.
Yep.
But she was in her mind doing something else.
Yep.
And so for Ricky, I think this was a very good time to point out hey, Egypt, you know, I know we just saw the film.
Mhm.
We see Marcus over here doing the most. You know, she was trying to tell me, Catherine, about these boundaries, but I see here she's been breaking boundaries.
Right.
And I see again, she hasn't kept her boundaries because that's why he think he can be flexing like this.
And then also, Marcus is like, look, my understanding is, Ricky, you ain't doing what you need to do in the bedroom. That could only come from one place. And again, Catherine ain't really saying nothing. She's kind of quiet. So it's very apropos that, yes, they did not get engaged. And for Ricky, I would just say, my advice is, Ricky, look, keep her as your friend. Because if that's how she moves, because she's angry with you, because she's whatever, if that's how she moves and she tells you it's a difference if I tell tell somebody who is a confidant, right?
Mm-hmm.
These are the problem, man. Look, this is what's happening, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you're telling somebody who's interested in you,
what you ain't getting,
what you're not getting at home,
hit the bro.
Bruh.
So at the end of the day, Catherine, you are completely out of pocket. Completely. Because we've tell y'all, we've been 27 years. We're going strong, right? But there are times there have been times, and there probably will be more times in the future where it's like,
But okay, if we were sitting there and here he comes with the ring and doing all this most, what we doing?
If you silent, if you ain't saying nothing, I'm be like, look, Sheila, you want to go get some food afterwards? You can put. Look, I'll take a piece of cheesecake in my mouth. Listen, because if you're not saying anything, if you're not pushing back
and saying like,
when it's in my face,
right? I'm like, okay, hold up. Obviously, you see that we're still together. That if there was going to be something between us, we wouldn't be here right now.
Right.
Right. And so I'm going to ask you politely, if you're saying that you really care for me, I'm going to ask you to back up because you're doing too much for me.
Yep.
If it's really about me, then you could say to that person, you're doing too much for me.
Because at the end of the day, if I'm Ricky, I'm not fighting Marcus.
No, because you're going to lose, but...
Well, yeah, because...
Yeah, I mean, you got to be smart.
But
you got to be smart.
Also from the aspect, even if, like I said, if it's me, I'm not fighting because you haven't given... It's not like I'm defending your honor.
Right.
I'm not defending you.
Right.
You're feeding it.
Right.
So that tells me,
right,
I'm fighting over you, and you don't want. You're not fighting for us.
Right. You're not fighting for us.
So now.
So yeah. So I was, it was a little disappointing, but where they are, it sounds about right.
It's exactly right.
And I'm not surprised if she ain't still talking to him.
So yeah, she gets into a little bit with
Sheila.
With Sheila.
Cause Sheila like, why you ain't say? Cause Sheila like looking at Ricky like, why you don't have a voice?
Okay.
Why are you allowing this to go down like this? Cause Sheila sees the disrespect.
Right.
And Ricky says, he pretty much, I gather, he internalizes first.
Mm-hmm.
Before he makes move, he has to internalize what's going on.
Right.
So, and then the ex-wife, so Egypt was like, okay, y'all two can go. Go ahead. Because first of all, when I'm telling you to stop, you're not stopping.
Right.
And so y'all two can go. Let's talk to the ex-wife. Because guess what? She ain't going nowhere because Ricky and her have a child. Was it just one child or two?
I think it's just one.
Have a child together. So this woman's going to be present. And also, Egypt was like, hey, what was her name? I can't think of her name.
Her name was Chelsea.
Chelsea. Oh, Chelsea, you don't have nothing to say? She shouldn't have nothing to say either. She doing the right thing. Okay, first of all, you need to pump your brakes. Pump your brakes. I've been respectful for you. Y'all decided to go on the show.
Yep.
I have to be involved again because there's a kid involved and I have to co-parent.
And Sheila, not Sheila, but Chelsea's like, he's a great father. Mm-hmm. He's a great co-parent. Mm-hmm. They're still friends. She's like, we were friends first.
Mm-hmm.
So their relationship, I'd be curious as to what fully went on.
I thought she
I
cheated on him.
I think that's what it was. She cheated, right?
Mm-hmm.
But she's like, she doesn't really have an issue with him. She doesn't even really have an issue with Catherine. Catherine has an issue, one because of jealousy, one because of insecurity. So and so Chelsea's like, look, we can continue to figure out how to co-parent and do this and want to involve you, because if you're the person that's going to be in his life, then you're the person that's going to be in his life. But understand that he's got a child that's going to be in his life forever. So
and this is the thing. You knew he had a child when you got with him.
Yep.
And that he was co-parenting and he was back with living with his parents. And so for you to just come in and think you're just going to uproot everything. If you want to have more balance, like, okay, he's not going to stay the night, right? Because they're familiar with each other.
Right.
All that takes time.
Right.
But it doesn't seem like there's anything romantic between them. I can see that.
Yeah.
And so Chelsea was just like, or was it her? It was more Catherine saying, well, we could be friends. Well, if you came off with all this energy that I was the enemy and we ain't creating boundaries and Ricky ain't communicating, why? Because you've already made up in your mind what was going on. So he was like, he's tired of defending himself probably.
Yeah.
And then like, well, you could have started that way, but you didn't.
So. And
then it comes off also that she wasn't even realizing she would be ready for a parent. Then why would you move? This blows me. Why would you move and not consider that you're not just dating or living with the dude?
Right.
He has to see his kid.
And his family.
We have to become smarter when we're deciding that we're going to decide to date and do different things.
Absolutely.
I digress.
Listen, again, you got to be, if you're dating with the purpose or the intention of being married, you've got to do it with intentionality. And that means that you've got to take stock of where you are, where the person you're dating is, and where the future can be. And I recognize, no, that doesn't all, you don't get all that day one, right? You don't get that in the first date. But
but they were friends first.
So you saw his life up front beforehand, right?
Like long-term friends from what they were saying on the show.
Right.
So you knew all about the relationship.
Yep.
He probably coming to you saying what happened.
I'm done with him. So they are still just or not just friends, but they're still dating. They are not engaged in any way, shape, or form.
Wish him well.
Yep. Wish Ricky well, especially. All right. So then Jasmine and Zay, they, if you remember, they did get engaged as well. For them, it was just a matter, I think, of
getting out of her way.
Yep. Her stop trying to control it and have it happening on her timing. Because when he did it, it was fine. It worked well. Their date showed up, Josie and Kenyatta. And even with their dates, Josie was like, listen, I was there kind of to just listen. I was just there to kind of bounce things off of. I gave ideas, gave thoughts, strategy, what have you. It wasn't, some folks, I guess, some of y'all in social media kind of felt that maybe they had a good connection. I didn't necessarily. I think they had a good vibe, but I didn't think it was like a full on connection that Josie had with what's her name with Jasmine.
Yeah, I mean, it was just the first couple of dates.
I think they only went on one date.
They went on 2 dates. Okay. They did 2 dates, but it wasn't to the point where he was going to just leave his relationship.
Well, no, because this is Jasmine. Jasmine was with Josie. The guy's name was Josie.
Oh, okay.
Now Zay went with Kenyatta. I know their name's a little confused.
Okay. Their names.
So Josie went on the date with Jasmine.
Right.
And I didn't get that there was a whole.
Oh, you're talking about Josie and Jasmine.
Yes.
Gotcha. I thought, okay.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Now,
I thought I thought there was a connection there.
But I didn't think it was to the point where it's like, oh, that's a rival or a threat, right?
No, because again, she just wanted to get married.
Right. And she wanted Zay.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Now Zay and Kenyatta, again, there wasn't real for me. They went on a couple of dates, but he was the one that was like really just inquiring and bouncing things off of her.
Right.
And she was giving advice. He kind of used her as a counselor in some respects, right?
Correct. Because he knew
He knew what he wanted.
He knew what he wanted. I think it was just coming across with certain fears.
Right.
And because Jasmine couldn't communicate well, you know, he was just like, this is how we're going to live our life.
Yeah.
We're just going to be like this. And she was like, I want more. And so I think this was a good way to show that they needed to do more, because a lot of the stuff that Jasmine was feeling, she never shared with him. So he didn't know.
Exactly. So long story short with them, they actually have already gotten married.
Oh, yeah.
They got married February
of this
or
year.
Valentine's Day this year. So even at the reunion, they were done. Or well, because it sounds like the reunion was filmed shortly before the wedding.
Because they were like, oh, that's quick.
Yeah. So, but they're officially married. They're going strong. So, as far as everything else, that was pretty much it. We'll see if they get a season 5 on it.
Yeah.
And we'll go from there. But that was it for Put a Ring on It, season 4. Keep an eye out because we're still finishing up Married at First Sight. If you're a fan of that, make sure you are watching that. And then Ready to Love is supposed to come back within the next couple of weeks. Ready to Love Dallas. So, and y'all know we'll be here for that. So I think that's it for this one. All right. We'll see y'all next time. Have a great one. Be blessed.
Be blessed. Bye.